Hi everyone. I changed my name just like the opposite way. So, hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Ayana Lavender. You can call me Ayana, and welcome to my YouTube channel again. And this time, yes, I just uploaded my May TBR video because I kind of am behind schedule. But this is my May book review video for the month of May, which you should be seeing this in June. So let's get right into it. The first book I read in the month of May is Rookie by Joshua Bassett. It is 240 pages. I read it on May 5th. I did the audio. Then at the book event in NYC, he talked about the book at Barnes & Noble, and he cried, I cried, we all cried. And then I finally read the book when I got home and cried some more, and it took me about 2.5 hours to complete. My overall rating is 5 stars. Here's my review. This book made me cry, and I love how this book was all about everything that Josh has went through. If you expected a full book structure, then this isn't for you. He said he modeled his book after a book he read. I forgot exactly what the name of the book is and who read it, but I will have the link to the book, and I will have that author's info in the description of the video. Let's continue. If you expect a full structure, then this book isn't for you. It's a mixture of poetry, telling a story, having inspiring quotes, and songs that not only mean a lot to Josh but also to his supporters and anyone who reads this. I love this book so much, and I've gotten a copy for all of my friends, and they even love the book, and they went in with it with an open mind, and some have even said it changed the way they view and do things. And so I personally think Josh did what he sought out to do, and this is it. I learned more about him. Like, how much more could I have learned more about him until now? And I just like that he was vulnerable. He talked more about the stuff he went through that I only heard on podcasts that he was on that scratched the surface, but this is different and I love it. So that's my review of Rookie. You should go see it. The second book I read in the month of May is Mate by Hazelwood, and it is 446 pages. I read the book from May 15th to the 19th, so it took me 4 days to read the book. The Goodreads rating is 4.03 stars. It has 282,618 ratings, 43,503 reviews, and 13,468 people are currently reading. And once again, we got the values that make up the rating. So for a plot, I did 5, character 5, writing 5, pacing 4.5, world/setting 4.5, enjoyment was a 5, and relationships were a 5. So my overall rating is 4.75 stars. Here is my review. Mate was a fun book to read. I like it as much as I like Bride by Hazelwood. I love the banter between Serena and Cohen, and I also really like the story as much as I did with Bride again. And I think it goes without saying that I just love this book a lot. I also love the ending of the book, and so the ending moment between Serena and Misery was adorable, and I loved it. When I first read the book, I was interested in seeing the way the characters from Bride would fit in, and while they have very, very small roles, they didn't take away from the actual story in this one. Hazelwood does fantasy very well, especially with the paranormal. I thought it would have a lower rating than Bride, but again, I think Mate is just as great and maybe even better. In my opinion, you can never go wrong with an Hazelwood book. The third book I read in the month of May is Finale by Stephanie Garber. It has 466 pages. I read the book from May 15th to the 19th, so it took me 3 days to read. The Goodreads rating is 4.12. It has 406,554 ratings, 51,801 reviews, 12,434 people are currently reading the book. Again, the values for plot, character writing, pacing, world/setting, enjoyment, and relationships were all 5. So my rating for this book is 5 stars. Here is my review of Finale. Finale by Stephanie Garber was so fast-paced and I couldn't put it down. The Caraval series, in my opinion, is way too good and it's just all around amazing. And it's incredible, one of my favorite series ever. I think reading this first will enhance my experience reading the sequel series, Once Upon a Broken Heart. I love the characters in this book so much. I love how the fates were handled and their abilities were cool to me, and how they possessed them and how they used it were really interesting. I was not expecting most of the twists that came about. I would have read the book in one setting, but I had so many responsibilities and distractions where I couldn't. But I did manage to read it in 3 days, which is pretty good. I loved everything about this book, and I love the characters Donatella, Scarlett, Jax, Julian, and Legend. AKA, well, no spoilers, I'm in love with this book, so of course I have to give it 5 stars. My fourth and final book I read in the month of May is The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. It has 289 pages. I read the book from May 27th to the 28th, so it took me 1 day to read the book. The Goodreads rating is 3.85. It has 116,244 ratings. It has 15,624 reviews. 2,757 people are currently reading. And the formulas of plot, character writing, pacing, world/setting, enjoyment, relationships are all 5. So my overall rating for this book is 5 stars. Here is my review. Lynn Painter can never do wrong in my book. Sorry to anyone that doesn't like some or all of her books. Something about her stories feel like a very cheesy rom-com in the best way, but still having some kind of depth to it. The Love Ranger is a perfect example of this. The book was short but fast-paced and took me by surprise in me reading it within 3 hours. I love Jack and Haley, and I love how you can see how much they've grown to like each other as their story progressed. I was laughing and having a great time. My rating is of course 5 stars. This was a short and sweet story, and Haley and Jack have my heart forever. So that was the 4th book I read in the month of May. Now it's time for my reading stats. I have 3 books in the 5-star range, 1 book in the 4-star range. I DNF 0 books. My average rating was 4.9 stars. I read 4 books. The shortest book was Rookie by Joshua Bassett. The longest book was Finale by Stephanie Garber. The total pages I read was 1,441 pages. My favorite book of the month was actually both of them. It's a tie between Rookie and Finale. So all in all, I read 4 books in the month of May, and the books are Rookie by Joshua Bassett, Mate by Hazelwood, Finale by Stephanie Garber, and The Love Ranger by Lynn Painter. Now it's time for Song of the Day, and song of this video is Love's a Gun by Daniel Seavey. I will have the music video up in the cards on the screen right here and in the description. That was my review of all the books I read in May. Next up is my June TBR. See you then. I love you all. Goodbye.